Johnny, this is good bourbon for y'all to your trip from Route 66. Enjoy.
We're all good to go. I just take it across. Look, let's go to take the other one. That's better.
Johnny's welcome toast. Take 46.
I like your style, did you? Now here's my first American breakfast on my Route 66 epic journey, and some locals have told me I'm a lightweight on the what are these, biscuits and
gravy.
biscuits and gravy. Yeah, these biscuits and gravy, and yeah, I've got a couple of guides here that putting me straight. But I forgot my coffee. So I best get my coffee. Well, it's jolly here. I'm in Nashville, and these wonderful girls that Jim and I are going to need because these girls are all chiropractors. Amy, she's absolutely top notch. The other two, if you want chiropractic and you want food recommendations, these are your girls. You know, they're top of the game for that. Anyway, yeah, but they're Texans and born and raised, and apparently, what was it you were saying about Texan people? What were you saying about Texan people?
I'm not like born and raised. She was born and raised in Texas.
Right, this
But
is
we're pretty cool people.
yeah. You probably got to be cool to live there, I assume.
Yes. Yeah.
Basically.
You have to because it's really hot. Yeah.
That's why I live in Norfolk in the UK, and you know, you're cool guys in Texas.
Yes.
Yeah. So, no point in going to California. Well,
No.
sorry, Sacramento. Say that the biggest thing I have learnt in coming to America is that there is such a thing as an absolutely wonderful and lovely and nice Chelsea fan. You know, and I've just discovered that the wonderful Melissa, Chelsea fan, she's taken the day off work. She's got me British baked beans. I assumed that they'd have Heinz baked beans here, but no. These have been specially purchased, and the king of teas, the king, in my opinion, PG tips. I'm about to have a cup of PG tips. Wonderful. Melissa, you are an absolute sweetheart. Thank you very, very much.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
There's an old car.
That's a nice old car. I like that. A bit like that.
I started to say, there's a midget.
I need to show the wonderful Kentucky hospitality.
Our famous
Yeah.
meals on the deck.
Wonderful. Hey, look at
We
this.
enjoy it.
Chef this morning, the amazing Jim Brevard. Look at that. Look at that. Two eggs runny. Jan's homemade muffins, and pig's jowls. Pig jowl bacon. Jowls. Is it jowls that?
It's
How does
jowl.
it, jowl, yeah.
It's jowl.
But what does Jim call them?
He calls it Joel.
Joel. What? Joel, mate, in Albuquerque, I'm a bit worried. Jim might have evil intentions. We're eating Joel's.
And the end of the summer tomato from my garden.
Oh, wonderful. Homegrown.
Yeah.
And good old English weather. So Jim, we're not on Route 66, but we're getting a taster of what we're going to see.
Yeah. We tasted the wigwams. There were 7 wigwam villages across the country. 2 here in Kentucky. We're in Cave City, Kentucky. This is number 2. Number 1 was in Horse Cave, 9 miles down the road. There was one in Louisiana, I'm forgetting one in a state between here and there. There are two along Route 66, one in Holbrook, Arizona, and one in Barstow/Santa Bernardino, California. And
Very cool.
again, little stuff, but a preview, and you know, not many people have seen all three of them.
That is really cool.
Well, and they're from my state. They
Absolutely.
originated in Kentucky. That's
Very
about an
cool.
hour and a half drive from where I live.
Wow.
Yep.
Very cool.
Here we go. Yep.
Is that an Austin Powers quote?
Yeah, every time I say Route 66, because we're doing the route in this little tiny MG Midget, which is a small British car with my friend from Kentucky, and every time I say Route 66, he goes,
Yeah, baby, yeah.
isn't that brilliant? Isn't that a brilliant impersonation? what are your names?
That's what dogs
Chelsea
do. They
and
gotta
Matt.
sniff your butt.
Chelsea and Matt.
Oh, there you go.
Brilliant. That. Oh, look at that. See?
Come to my level.
They know.
They do.
See? If Murphy hadn't have done that, Jim would have. He'd been lying in the bed in that position.
Yeah, this probably tells you about it.
All right.
Some motel out here.
Right. You'd expect Clark Gable to stay in a more ritzy
Well,
place, wouldn't you?
Well,
But
yeah.
I mean, that must have been quite something.
It was
And
probably
I-
something good.
It was
yeah.
him slumming it.
Yeah, maybe.
In Nashville, my first experience of America was landing in Tennessee, and I'd loved it. As soon as I
Oh,
arrived,
yeah.
people,
Tennessee is so friendly, isn't
but
it?
the customs guys, I was thinking, oh god, because a big old queue, and I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. But they're just so
And
friendly.
where are you from?
I'm from England.
England.
Have you
Sound
heard?
Like you're
have
from
you,
down under.
well,
Kind
a
of.
lot of people
Yeah,
say I'm
same here.
Australian, and I keep saying to them, you know, shove another shrimp on the barbie and throw,
Hey,
crack open the Fosters.
There's a saloon. I think we need to hit the saloon, John.
I think we do need to hit somewhere.
Don't worry about the camera.
What is your name, sir?
Where's the camera? My name is Thomas Marble.
Thomas Marble. Right.
Okay.
Johnny Warner, Thomas Marble.
You
Cheers,
take
big
it
ears.
past it. Is that what you doing?
Brilliant.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. Must be nearly my round.
Ford Expedition. Boy, NASCAR to drive these things.
Yeah, but, no, but I bet they're not having as much fun as a couple of headlamps.
Down to 6. Oh, sorry.
Can you call the exhaust again? What? Bloody hell. My ear. That bloody bush hit my ear! I know I need a haircut, but do you mind not doing it with a fallen bush? Yeah, we just.
Don't laugh at Jenkins' wet butt.
Well, I was thinking about pushing him in, but our guides, as ever, have done a fantastic job bringing us to a most beautiful area. Almost everything is beautiful around here.
Here's the spot where we drove.
Yeah, and there's that little campsite.
Maybe you're gonna make them pull off.
Huh?
I thought maybe you were gonna make them pull off.
Yeah.
This one? Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow I don't think they're going to bother to pull off. They want two sides of the road, and
People pulled off for me coming up.
did they?
Oh yeah, I was ripping. I was right on.
Right. Well, perhaps you should go ahead and push them off. Give it a go.
Oh
he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow.
And the alcohol and everything flowed through here like water.
So Jim from Kentucky, his ancestors would have been crossing that bridge.
I live about an hour from, and I won't call the name of it, Golden Pond, Kentucky, which supplied a whale of a lot of shine up in this area, up in Chicago to Al Capone, out to Vegas, Atlanta, you know.
They supposedly, somebody over at Pitcher had the phone number under his cash register of those guys, because they would bring that booze and stuff down from Chicago. And Joplin actually used to be called Little Chicago.
Did it?
Oh, did it?
Because it's straight down, and Joplin was a wild place. I mean, it was wild and woolly back in the day. But this was a mining area, and you wouldn't have kept those miners from drinking. That'd been like keeping a fish from being in the water. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah, I like your old miner's lamp up there. I assume that's a miner's lamp.
Actually, my old boss, he had a grocery store here, and they opened that grocery store in '32. And they would deliver, they used to use mules in a lot of these mines down in the ground.
Right.
Let's see if this picture might show it. This picture here is from over at Pitcher sometime back in the 40s. And you can see the mule right there. Right there.
Right.
Anyhow, he would deliver feed down, and they actually had to take it down into the shack and set it off. They didn't have to take it down there, but they had to set it right by the door. So they would go down the bucket with it, unload it, but he had to wear a hard hat, and that was his hard hat right there. It's made out of fiberglass because it was back in the 40s by that time.
Right.
Went to fiberglass and stuff. They had that's carbide light. Carbide puts off acetylene, and it puts off a fairly good flame. You put these little pellets down in there, and you put water in it, and the water makes a gas.
Yeah.
You light that, and it puts it out, and there's a little adjustment up there. You can light it. It even has a sparkler on it, like a cigarette lighter right there. Most guys just lit it with their cigarette or their match. It has a sparkler on it, so you can light it right there. Most of the time, you see those. The reflector has been changed. They put you'll see them put these great big old doctors. You see a doctor had that big old.
Yeah.
They put one of those on to make it look that isn't real. They look more like that right there. They were just made out of tin. They had a long one that had a long hose that would go back here. And usually those, by now, the hose is all deteriorated and everything. They would last a lot longer than the carbide in it did. But those little pellets made acetylene, like your acetylene torch. And it put off a decent, enough light. We didn't have to worry about gas in any of these mines. We didn't have any.
Well, that's what I wondered, because, you know, I mean.
Our ground is so hard here that even, they talk about radon, radon gas. It doesn't penetrate our ground here because the ground is so hard. Some of the places here 5 times harder than granite.
Wow.
It's like, it's glass. It's that hard.
Right.
And whenever they first started mining here, they actually had to, they brought the equipment in from like Tennessee and where the coal mines and stuff. Well, it wasn't strong enough for here. So they actually had to develop new steels for the drills that they had here to be able to penetrate this rock.
Wow.
It was so hard.
Right. Well, what were they actually mining?
Lead and zinc. It was a lead and zinc mining area.
Right.
About practically 100% of all the lead in the world and zinc and about 15 other metals came from right here for about 50 years.
Why did they quit mining?
Well, the EPA, for one thing,
they stopped a lot.
It didn't run out. There was actually still a lot of it left, but the EPA has shut down most all of it.
Right.
You can't keep the water and everything clean enough to come out of the ground. And the last lead and zinc mine, this is called the Lead Belt, and it goes from about here all the way to the boot of Missouri.
Wow.
It's an anomaly. And the very last lead mines in the United States were shut down in a boot probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
No, really.
So that's
And
it.
they used to
Yeah.
get mine lead and zinc everywhere in the world. They mine it in China and Africa, any place there ain't no EPA, they'll mine it. And they need it because they see it used.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it, but every person in the world uses lead all the time. They don't think about it, but
Yeah.
and then they recycle. It's the most recycled metal, about 99%.
Well, it's so easy, isn't it? I mean, I used to use to make fishing weights.
lures.
You know, yeah.
But
It's,
they make it make batteries out of it. You have to solder with it. You do a little bit of everything with lead.
yeah.
And back in the day, they used it for pipes and everything else.
Yeah.
The pipe itself.
Water
yes.
pipes, yeah.
In fact, the word plumbing comes from Latin, means lead. Lead is plum.
Yeah.
Right.
And the word plumbing comes from the word lead.
Well,
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I mean, we.
You've heard the word plumb bob? Plumb
Oh yeah, plumb line. Yeah, we use a plumb line
Lead weight.
for decorators. Yeah, yeah.
That's what the word plumb is in Latin, is lead.
Interesting.
Do you know, I always wondered. I did decorating, and I always wondered why it's called a plumb line, and I. Yeah,
The
brilliant.
word plumb comes from lead in Latin.
Wow.
We used to get carbide at the local hardware store when I was a kid. Had carbide lamps that we'd use.
Ian and your E-type. Who says our car's not cool?
Rt66, baby. Yeah, baby, yeah. Yeah, really good if I keep my foot out of it.
You guys doing the whole Route 66?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We started Chicago 2 weeks ago Sunday.
Yeah, you guys go through all Grand Canyon and all that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did
done
Grand
it, yeah.
Canyon day before yesterday, I want to say.
Yeah, where are you guys ending? All the way in LA?
Santa Monica.
Yeah?
Yeah, but
all the way.
we're driving back to Kentucky then.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you guys enjoy it, man. How many miles have you done so far?
About 3,000.
Huh?
About 3,000.
Have a good day. Welcome to California.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much. Much
Thank you, sir.
appreciated.
Thank
You
you.
take care, Benny.
Yeah, he flagged us in. Tupac. We came out of Oatman and we got to the motel. I thought, oh, they're near here somewhere. Let me look. Man, we passed Tupac. And, but then I saw on my note that Paul had given me, I noticed that your RV park was here. So.
Yeah, it is. It's literally, it's on Route 66.
Okay.
Right.
Well, we're going that way, and as Johnny said, he was just getting ready to ask this helpful young lady that pulled up, was going to comment about her car, and then I recognized you.
The funny part is you got your little sticker on there, getting your kicks on 66. Our RV is branded Route 66 as well.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So,
I'm just embarrassed that I don't have a bourbon in my hand. You know, I should have the finest bourbon in the world.